sec.
We call this our behind the scenes. The video version of it is kind of more of a behind the scenes. We don't edit this one unless like something really crazy happened, of course, you know. But
All right.
the recorded
That guy acted up.
yeah, exactly. The audible version, we do edit. Ooh, what was that?
Sorry,
I hit a spring.
I
Oh,
bumped.
that's okay.
I'll keep my
No
tongue
worries.
close.
We, you know what? A little bit of extra noise. It can always be fun. All right. Well, here we go.
Am I plugged in? Yeah, I think I am.
You are. I can hear you.
Check.
Yeah. You just turn me up a titch, the fourth slider.
This one? Sure.
Titch.
Yep.
There we go.
Beautiful. All right. Let's do this.
Hello.
Hello. Hello, everybody.
Hi.
We're like season 2 episode. I don't know anymore.
we're
All I know
around-
is that we're in season 2. We started season 2.
This is 7 or 8.
Okay, cool. All right, well, we're back another week of In the Know in the 920. Let's do this.
In the know in the 920.
We have our own little jingle.
Can't help but move to this.
Right? I tell a lot of people this, but this is a real thing. When we picked out that little jingle, my husband, who's an IT guy, set all this stuff up, and he gave me like, I don't know, probably 40,000 options to choose from is what it felt like anyways. And I was like, this is big because, you know, this jingle is going to be around for a while. Took me a bit to pick. I listened to a lot of jingles. Let's put it that way.
Just like the fonts.
Yes.
Right? Fonts are important.
Fonts are important, right?
We've learned that.
Yes. Yes. Well, I'm super excited. I honestly have been so looking forward to this because I'm huge about mental health. I'm a big mental health advocate. And this week we have Mary Beth Hendrickson and Michael Berge from Mental Health America of Wisconsin. Did I do all that right?
You sure did.
Yes.
Thank you.
Woohoo! All right, so we're going to talk all things that you guys are doing, which I think is just fabulous throughout the community. Right after we hear a little bit from Mr. Fisher over here.
Hi.
We have a couple of new listings this week, so he's going to quick share those.
Yeah.
And then we're going to talk about mental health.
Man, our team put up some listings this week.
We did. This is a busy week.
It has been.
Yeah.
Okay, so first up, we have one that is presented by Fiona.
Miss Fiona Tilley. Yes.
So super cool one, N4455, Dorothy Jane Court, Town of Freedom, and Kaukauna mailing address.
This is a real beauty, this one.
Yeah, it is listed for $1,050,000. 4 bedrooms, 3.5 baths, 3-car garage. The size of it is 4,668 square feet. A 3-acre lot.
Just a little something, you know?
The current owners are have been doing a whole lot of renovating additions, marble counters and
It's
crazy
beautiful.
cases and all this stuff. It's definitely worth seeing. I think she's been making videos of it too.
She has been. There's videos on our Facebook page.
Yeah.
Yep.
So definitely check that one out.
Okay. Dorothy Jane Court. Yes. What do we got next?
Then presented by Becky, we have
Becky.
W2376 Greenspire Way. That's in Buchanan and Darboy. $374,900. 4 beds, 3 baths, 3-car garage. It's a quad level, and 1,900 square feet total. Looks pretty nice.
It's a quad level.
Quad level.
I just want to make sure we get. Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Okay, so then from you, Miss Kelly Davies, we have 1524 East Moonbeam Trail in Appleton.
Such a cute ranch.
269.9.
Super cute.
Yes, cute ranch. 3 beds, 2 baths, 2-car garage, 1,673 square feet.
Fully finished basement, which is great.
Yeah, cool
Yep.
basement. Mm-hmm. On a 1/4-acre lot.
Yeah, it's really nice.
Then we have 907 Roosevelt Street, City of Kaukauna, $264,900.
And I just have to add in, this Roosevelt listing is one of my favorites ever.
Very cute.
It's just like right out of a little storybook
Yeah, 3 beds.
or a little Pottery Barn book.
1.5 baths.
cute.
2-car garage. Again, just under 1,700 square feet. It's 95 years old, but it's super cute. It's right on White City Park in Kaukauna. Great spot for sledding.
Wow.
Yeah.
Kaukauna is so underrated.
Super cute. I know, right?
Beautiful spot.
It is. I agree.
Let's see. Oh, we have one that I wasn't able to print because it's not in the MLS yet. But we also have
Fresh off the press.
118 Pine Street, the city of Brillion.
Brilliant.
That one we got listed for 210. 4 beds, 2 baths, 2-car garage, 1,600 square feet, half-acre lot.
Where can you get all that for 210 nowadays?
Yeah.
You really can't.
And then
Except here.
you'll probably have to fill in the rest of the details on this one, I guess. So we have 1910 East Sylvan Ave in Appleton, and
That is a condo. That is super fresh off the press, like not even,
Yeah.
quite listed yet, but it will be listed this week yet.
I don't know the price of that.
Very nice condo. Very, very nice condo. I don't know the price either. Thank you for putting me on the spot
Okay.
with that.
But if you want to know the price,
If you want to know the price,
stay tuned for Kelly's phone number at the end of the show.
exactly, you can contact us anytime, or it'll be on our Facebook, Instagram, everywhere, probably in the next couple of hours, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
It's in the 200.
believe
or
we're listing that
300
one
range.
tomorrow. Yes.
Okay. But yeah, it's a really nice condo in Appleton. So yeah, we had a lot of listings come out this week. A lot. It seems like it always happens that way. It's either like a week where it's like, maybe we have one or, nothing that week. And then all of a sudden it's like, bam, we have 6, which is great.
Yeah.
I'm never going to complain about business ever. Business is good. That's how I survive. Okay. So we got some great listings.
Yeah.
Now let's talk about more important and fun stuff and interesting stuff and learn things. Mary Beth and Michael, Mental Health America of Wisconsin. Let's start with just maybe a little bit of background about the organization, how it got started, etc.
Go ahead.
So, Mental Health America of Wisconsin has been around for 90 years.
Wow.
Yeah, so it has a lot of longevity in the state. There is a national Mental Health America, so and then each state can have its own affiliate. So we are an affiliate of the National Mental Health America chapter or organization.
Sure.
And so it's been around for 90 years. It has a pretty broad scope. It serves all of Wisconsin. We, in particular, have Michael and I both live local to the Fox cities. And so we have a strong interest with the support of Mental Health America of Wisconsin to have a lot more targeted programming right here in the Fox cities.
Sure. Yeah, which is great. That's awesome. I was just going to ask you, so does every state have, like you said, like an affiliation, or do some not, but then there's still the national?
So I don't have a statistic if every state does, but I would say the majority seem to. And
Sure.
like in Wisconsin, there's like the statewide organization, and then there's actually an affiliate also in Mental Health America Lakeshore, which is in Plymouth.
Okay.
So
Our home office is in Milwaukee.
Okay.
And then the neighboring states, we know Illinois, Indiana. I'm not sure. Michigan? Did they mention that yesterday, perhaps?
I think they might have
Yeah,
one as well.
yeah.
So,
Okay. Very cool. And I should have also said you guys are on the board of directors.
Yes.
Correct?
Yep.
Very cool. I always feel like that's like we're amongst royalty
Fans.
here,
Oh,
basically.
We
you
still
know,
can't even believe that happened. Too humbly, wow, you want
that's awesome.
us? Really?
Yeah.
You
No,
know,
that's
it's
so
so
great.
honored,
I
yeah.
love that. I love that.
If I could put one more little
Yeah,
piece in there about
absolutely.
Mental Health America, how it's different than so many other nonprofit mental health organizations.
Sure.
Is it's not just targeted towards people that struggle and everything. It's also the people while they're doing well,
Sure.
and the people that it's everyday people, and
Yeah.
like creating allyship between the two. We want to connect with you while you're doing well, so that when that does happen, we're right there. We have
Yeah.
that rapport already established.
Sure.
Which makes it so unique because
Right.
like crisis mode can be really, really difficult, but you have a plan and you have some some connection prior.
Yes.
You can do so much more and so proactive. Like, let's get ahead of that. Why
Right.
react when things happen? And our our director, Martina, has been so supportive of everything we've wanted to do. You know, when you
Sure.
you come up with ideas and you're like, hey, how would this be? And we kind of brainstorm, we get all excited.
Yes.
And I'm like, well, okay, let's bring it to Martina. And she's like, you feel free. You guys
Right.
just fly with that. And that's been incredible.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's so great.
She actually thinking big picture, like, well, if you guys are on the board of directors, it'll give you more.
Sure.
I guess, what would you say? Like, credibility is
Sure.
one thing instead of just saying, hey,
Yes.
I volunteer for Mental Health America. You know,
Right.
Michael's Mary Beth. But
Yep.
yeah,
That's awesome.
been wonderful.
That's so great. I love that so much. And like you said, I think that's a really good point is that, well, I don't know. In my opinion, I feel like mental health now is talked about a lot more than it used to be, which is great. I think it's come a long way. I've always been somebody that's like, I think everybody should go to therapy. I've done it before many times, many years of my life. And whether you're doing great or whether you're not doing great, I still think you should do it. Everybody can benefit from those kinds of things, right?
married couples also.
Yeah,
excuse me, every
100,000%.
single married
Yes,
couple.
I agree. Bill, we need to do that immediately. No, for real.
It'll be worth it.
Seriously, I think it's so beneficial, and you learn so much about yourself. And again, like if you're doing marriage counseling, you know, you learn a lot about the person that you're with. But anyways, I think that it's so great that some of the stigma behind it is going away, right? Not all, but some of it. But also, I think that it's great to have, like you said, these resources and know about these resources so that even when you, like you said, when things are going great, that's great. But when crap hits the fan, right? When something happens, because inevitably that's life, things happen, you know where to go. And that's not the moment that you're in that panic mode of like, well, where can I go for help? What kind of resources are out there?
Yeah.
Right?
And
So I think that's really great.
from what I've seen in my personal and then professional experiences, that when there's a crisis for one person, it puts the support system or the loved ones or the friends and family around that person also into crisis.
Sure.
So now instead of just dealing with one, and they can't help it, they might not even be conscious of it, but that is so incredibly difficult to work through and navigate. So all the more reason to connect with that person that would go in crisis, but then the family and friends as well, proactively.
I love that.
A tagline that Mental Health America has is before stage 4, and alluding to this very thing we're speaking
Sure.
about, that like what kind of like supports can we have in place, like Michael said, when you're doing well. So like what kind of programming, and a big thing that we really appreciate that also makes us a little different is that you don't have to have like a confirmed diagnosis of something
Sure.
to participate in programming that we offer, which is really great because that can be a big barrier for people to like coming to something, because like maybe they like want some support, but they aren't like officially diagnosed with something, but that doesn't mean they're not struggling with something.
Sure.
Or we also just need like communities that are supportive, and we want to like set the framework for that, so that way people who are willing to be allies and be supportive to people who do struggle are like connected,
Right.
and we're all together.
Because
Because
that
really,
sense of community.
yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
And
I
then
love that.
No judgment or shame if there is a confirmed diagnosis.
Right.
I'd be like,
Yes.
even if you got a confirmed diagnosis, they'll let you be on the board of directors. That is incredible. I'm not saying anything about you. Just my own journey. Yeah, incredible.
Well, that's
incredible.
awesome. I love that. Well, and I do think that there's, you know, especially when it comes to things like mental health, there's something to be said for somebody that's kind of gone through some things, right? Because you have that, I don't know, firsthand experience, empathy, all the things, right? Yeah. So I totally get that. Well, very, very cool. Okay, so can you tell us about some of the programs and events and things that you guys do in the community?
Yeah. So every Sunday night, this is one that anybody listening, we would love to see you at. Every Sunday evening, 6:00 at Heckrot in Menasha, we do a walk. There's no registration. There's no fee. We show up at 6, by these rocks outside the nature center, and at 6:05 we take off with whoever is there to walk. And it's fun, uplifting. You can share if you're going through something hard. You can just enjoy nature if you don't feel like talking, but we're there together building that community, and it's open to anybody. We say there's no obligation, no fee.
Nope.
Come when you can,
Yeah.
come once, come every
Sure.
time.
Yeah.
Come when you feel like it.
I love that.
And rain, shine, or 30 below, we were there. We missed because the parking lot, a couple weeks, it's been since July 14th. A couple weeks we had to cancel. You know, it's like, we just don't want to miss that one person
Yeah.
that's in that spot, that's
Sure.
counting on that.
Yeah.
That's what they're looking forward to. Sunday nights they're known
Right.
as the Sunday scaries. That's
Sure,
the night that
that's
people
true.
are most suicidal and dreading the week and recovering from the weekend and all of that.
Right.
So it's like we were very targeted in
That's a
that.
very good point.
Yeah. Sunday scaries are very real.
Sunday scaries are very real. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even when things are
mean-
going great, it's still like, whoo, here we go again. You know, you're just got to ramp up for all the things that happen, right?
Yeah. It's good start to the week, and like I would say, 100% guarantee your mood will be
Sure.
boosted. We were competing, of course, with the little-known organization known as the Green Bay Packers because the Packer games
Oh,
were,
weird.
happened to be happening.
Yeah.
So the turnout maybe wasn't what.
Sure.
We're all right. Hey, if one person
Yeah.
comes up, or if it's just me and Mary Beth hanging
Right.
out, she's a blast. Like, great. Awesome.
Yeah,
You
I
know?
love that. No, I love that you guys do that. So that's every Sunday at 6 o'clock
Yep.
Yep.
at Heckrot. Very cool. Okay. What else? Tell us more. I know you guys you do all sorts of cool
We had
things.
just had completed alternatives to suicide training for the area.
Okay.
They had that group, which is so unique. That was here like a decade, about 12 years ago. Alternatives to suicide, what it was or what it is this Wildflower Alliance out of Pennsylvania,
Massachusetts.
Massachusetts. And it gives people a safe space to come together. People that attend have lived experience with suicidal ideation where they're thinking about committing or ending their life. If it's current or past or anything or attempts, they come together and you can actually say, I want to kill myself. And then it's not like these red flags go up and suddenly you become this criminal. That's like, well, I got to call the cops. 'Cause
Yeah.
Clearly you're out of your mind and you're not
Right.
safe. It's like, no, the approach is, well, okay. What do you think would work best, or like validating that and connecting them with other people that are in the same boat instead of reacting to it? So it's very, very safe.
Sure.
Like it's all confidential and people can just show up and be them. And the ironic thing with these, we had one last week. Last week we did our first one in the area. It was wonderful at Ebb and Flow.
Okay.
Downtown Appleton. which
Sure.
I can't say enough good things about
Yeah.
Ebb and Flow.
I've heard great things.
They're amazing.
That's awesome.
Oh, yeah.
We'll have to have them on at some point.
You definitely
Yes,
should. They're
okay,
awesome.
we will.
They've got a community. I just got to put a plug in for that, and then I'll get
Sure.
back to if you can follow. But the Ebb and Flow has a community living room several times a week that anyone can show up. No,
Oh,
just
that's
like the
so
mood boost.
cool.
Yeah, and you just hang out. You got free snacks and drinks. And enjoy yourself.
Oh,
Play
I
guitar.
love that.
Yeah, wonderful people. Lynn and then Karen Iverson Riggers
Sure.
too.
Oh,
and
that's
so
so cool.
they kind of also they agreed to have that there at their place.
Sure.
And that group, we didn't even talk about suicide. It didn't. It doesn't have to be the main topic.
Sure.
You can be quiet and you can participate.
Sure.
So we did that training at the Menasha Public Library, one of our partners, bringing it back to the area, and now we're starting. We've got that group,
That's
and then
great.
an organization known as the Mountains of Hope. They've got one on Monday nights, and we do
Sure.
the first Thursday of every month. So I wrote it down. May 1st will be the
Okay.
next one.
Sure.
Yeah.
And
That's
again,
awesome.
that's also confidential and anonymous. Actually, when you go around the room and say your name, you can give a false name. We even say,
Sure.
because it doesn't matter if
Yeah.
somebody does bring up that they are struggling with like a suicidal thought, the reaction is going to be like, let's explore this, not let's report this, which is
Right.
makes people feel safe. And like Michael said, oftentimes that's not even what people talk about. They just are feeling in a safe, supportive environment. They could talk about whatever they want.
Sure.
Like you can talk about what you're doing this weekend or quick
Right.
trip snacks, whatever.
Yes.
Oh,
But people are feeling
Sometimes you just got to get out of that, right? And it doesn't mean that necessarily solved everything forever, but get out of it at that moment, right? And realize that
and feeling that connection
Yes.
with somebody else who understands and
that
has
connection,
been there.
there's other things
huge.
going on. That's not the right answer, right? And then sometimes I think that just helps, for people to work on it from there then instead of, because in that moment that can be scary. And like you said, I've known people that have in my life that, 72-hour holds and this and that. And I get like the system has to do things a certain way and whatever, but it's not always necessarily the most effective, right? So,
And some people struggle chronically with those thoughts, and they might not even be planning to take action, but there's not a safe way to disclose that or talk
Right.
about it with somebody. And these groups give somebody a safe space where they can say it out loud.
yes.
And sometimes that is like what they need
Right.
is to be able to share that in a non-clinical, non-judgmental space.
Yes. I love that.
Yeah.
It's a really dark place when you know you can't communicate that, and you have to
Sure.
go within, and you're in your mind and knowing that, and
Right.
stuck.
Yeah.
I think a lot of times people don't necessarily want to be dead; they just don't see any other option.
Yes.
Very big difference in reframe for that.
Yeah, I agree. I love that. I'm so glad that, I love that there's these other options out there. I think that's really great.
Do you want to mention the suicide awareness?
Yeah, so back in September, so September 10th is National Prevent Suicide Day, and we
Okay.
hosted a film screening of a documentary called The S Word, which had actually explored people who were suicide attempt survivors and talked about their experiences. So we hosted a screening of that film in partnership with the Menasha Public Library and hosted a mental health resource fair as well with local organizations. So we plan to hopefully do something similar to that in September again. Also in September is actually, that's a busy month, it's recovery month. And we partnered with the Green Bay Action Sports Organization, an amazing indoor skate park up in Green Bay. And we did a community night to promote mental health and recovery as well for children and adults, which was
That's so great.
yeah, it was a super cool night. And then we had people actually were able to share stories of their own mental health and recovery
Sure.
journeys, which was very powerful, especially for some of the kids that were there listening
Yeah.
and hearing some of those experiences normalized.
Mental health
I love
through
that.
skateboarding, like
Sure.
learning that skateboarding and those skills that come along with that, like, hey, I can do this.
Right.
It gives the people, empowers them to be resilient and like, oh wow, if I can do that, I can do
Right.
anything.
And
Right.
the vulnerability
Yeah.
that it takes to be able to
Yeah.
skate and fall.
Yes, that's
And get
true.
back up.
Get back up.
Yeah,
Yep.
and
I love that.
not be embarrassed to fall. At Gabasso, they actually cheer when somebody falls because they said that means you were doing something.
Yes, that's so true. That's
Yeah.
such a good point.
Yeah.
You're never going to have a perfect, skate, right? I mean, if you do, then that's something. But everybody falls at some point,
Yeah.
right?
I don't remember anybody because that night I got on my 80s skateboard and did fall and hit my head. Actually, I did have a helmet on, which was good.
I
but
love
remember
that.
everybody-
Nobody cheered.
I don't-
Sorry, I was videotaping
He's like, I
it for you.
don't recall that
America,
part.
What's he doing? What's that one guy on the skateboard?
I
Who do you think he is?
love
Yeah.
that.
Cheer for you now.
I love that. Yes, we'll give you a round of applause, Michael.
Validation.
I love though too that you mentioned that some of these events have children and adults too, because I think right, just the more that we talk about it, mental health, and normalize it, the better, right? Because I know again, like me growing up, I'm 43. It wasn't. There was a lot of stigmas around it, and it wasn't really a big like. We're related. I told you guys that, and we tell the public that. And my ADHD is off the chain, and he's got it too.
Yeah.
We've both been diagnosed. He takes meds for it. I don't because my cardiologist doesn't like that. But in any case, so I just have to try really hard to focus. But I remember growing up, like in school, again, we were telling you this beforehand, like I had to work so hard. I got straight A's, but it was just because of the type of person I am. I had to work so hard and I had to memorize a lot of things because I couldn't focus. Focus was never, and as a kid, I remember like sitting in class a lot of times thinking to myself, even like third, fourth grade, like, why can't I focus? I can't focus. Something doesn't seem right. But back then, nobody really talked about it. And because I was able to skate away with the straight A's, somehow pull it off, nothing was ever done about it.
Yeah.
And I didn't actually see a psychiatrist about it until I was an adult. And then he's like, take this little, take these tests, do these things. Oh yeah, you definitely have it. I have it terribly. And part of that though, I think makes me a good realtor because that's, realtors are,
Yes.
kind of
It's ever changing.
notorious for that, but
Keeps your attention.
yeah. But I'm just saying, back in my day, nobody really, talked about it. It was very
Yeah.
just push it under the rug kind of thing.
When I was diagnosed with ADHD in 1995,
Wow.
I remember the guy, which I appreciated it so much, and I've shared this. He said the adults that I've diagnosed with this are some of the most creative and intelligent human beings I've ever met.
Sure.
Like, hey, I'm sorry, your brain works faster than everybody
Yeah.
else's. And I was like, that really meant a lot to me. So
Sure.
validating. And sometimes, there's impulsivity and there's behaviors and everything, but being wired and having the green and purple wires in your brain as opposed to the red and blue that everybody
Right.
has, that's okay.
It makes the world go round,
That
right?
sure does.
Yeah. We can't all be the same.
Yeah.
It'd be so boring.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I love that though. I love that again that you incorporate kids into different things and it's not so scary to talk about.
Right.
Now, which is great because I know like I have a 12-year-old and I just am constantly like talking to him, right? Because it's like you can't stop doing that. You got to keep talking because it's a scary world, unfortunately.
That open line of communication with youth and our children and everything. I guess it starts when they're little.
Yeah.
Like if they're saying they want the purple sippy cup instead of the pink one.
Right.
And we say, what? Oh, you're having this one.
Exactly.
Or you just leave for a trip and they say, Mom, I got to go to the bathroom.
Yep.
If you shame them for that,
Right.
how do we expect with a foundation like that them to come out with their feelings when they really start to struggle,
Exactly.
later on in life?
I know.
Try to keep
Parenting is tough,
So tough.
right? I say to my kids a lot, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to make mistakes too because this is my first time being a parent, But you're absolutely right. And trust me, all the time I think, and I say this to my husband too, like, what are our kids going to say about us in therapy someday? I try so hard. But, again, we're all learning, right?
So on
we're all learning.
Absolutely. And on that note, we are just wrapping up. We have 1 week left, but we did an 8-week parent and caregiver compassion resilience class.
Oh, that's so cool. Look at this.
Yeah.
What a little segue into that. I
so
love
good with
that.
segues.
Yes.
And so we actually did that also in partnership with Jabasso up in Green Bay. And the beauty of it is it's not like a class to teach you how to be a parent. It's actually a class to teach you how to give yourself compassion and build your resilience because like you said, parenting is tough and we're all doing it for the first
We're all doing
time.
it for the first time.
And
Yep.
and even if you've had one child, your next child might be extremely
Exactly.
different.
Right.
So and there's not like a manual and something somebody had told me is that like all of like the resources, not all, but the majority of resources and books and groups are for when your kids are like newborns to
Yes.
like
change their diaper.
age 3.
Feed them this often. Exactly.
And then all of a
Right.
sudden, like the majority of their life, I mean, this person said, my kids aren't quite that old yet, but they said your biggest, your largest stage of parenting is adulthood. And how do you parent adult children?
true.
And how do you parent like middle schoolers and
Yes.
teenagers? And there's so much where there's not that. So this
Yeah.
class was great. We hope to run it again in the future, but it was 8 weeks and it focused on that, building that compassion, resilience for yourself and recognizing the
that.
challenges of it.
To your
That's
point
so
with
cool.
the youth, young children as opposed to like older children, I've noticed just in my personal life, and I had a friend that pointed this out. Why do we connect with other parents and we share what's going on with our toddlers? And everything. Oh,
Sure.
yeah, they're doing, they're acting up. Oh, they're the terrible twos, whatever. But or my son was great when he was 2, man, all the way through. But
Sure.
but when they get older and they're in the teenage years,
Yeah.
these are really tough things, especially mental health, substances,
Yes.
all of that, ADHD. We don't talk to other parents.
so
We
true.
put on this facade of like,
Right.
oh, well, my kid is on the
Everything is
basketball team.
wonderful. You're so right about that. I totally agree with you. And then every once in a while, I'll run into somebody that will share. And it's like then everybody else's walls come down, right?
Yes.
All of a sudden, it's like, oh, well, actually, my kid, but you're right. It's like we all kind of keep a little, and why is that, right? Because, as a toddler, when they're little, it's like, oh my gosh, Jay just had another tantrum on the floor. Love you, Jay. But I'm just saying, right? But then as they get older, we struggle a lot more with sharing those kinds of things. Yeah. And I know even this year, and he's in 6th grade, we've had a few, just a little friend, kids are starting to figure themselves out and issues that come up, right? And it's just hard. You feel very isolated.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And one thing I noted too that is so underrated and not talked about enough, which is so incredibly difficult, is postpartum depression.
Oh,
like all
yes.
these mothers that are suffering. Like,
Oh my
"Oh,
gosh.
this is what I'm supposed to be happy, and
Yep.
all of this, and I'm not sure what to do. I don't know why I'm having these thoughts." And
Correct.
And I know there's a space, but that's what Mental Health America and other, not just your doctor. I mean, but there's
Yeah.
so many resources, and then what that does, like you had said to your point about those walls coming down.
Yes.
Mothers are like, "Oh,
Whoa.
nice." The tears come.
Somebody
like, "Oh, I
else is
start-"
feeling this or has felt this.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
amazing, but it's that self stigma, I think, that prevents people from sharing about like their own struggles or what their kids are going through.
Yes.
And like you said, somebody pulls that down and all of a sudden everybody can relate.
Yep.
But you don't know that if your mask is always up.
Correct. Well, and it doesn't help that we live in a world of, in some ways, I mean, obviously social media does some really, really great things and can really connect people and all the things, right? I mean, obviously it's great for our business. It's great for a lot of things.
Yeah.
But
it does some horrible things.
there's a lot of highlight reels on social media. A lot of, so you're looking at things, and I notice, like, especially with kids too, like, okay, so mine are 12 and 9, and they watch, my daughter, oh my God, she's got YouTube and, all these fun videos and things and whatever. And we monitor it very closely, but I'm just saying there's a lot of expectations, I think, to know how to, act a certain way, dance a certain way, dress a certain way, be a certain, and like, it's just, there's just a lot. It's just a lot.
Agreed.
And then I think for us as adults, again, the highlight reels, we see like other people's, a lot of times, like really fun moments and trips, which is all great. Like, I love seeing all that kind of stuff. But then sometimes if you're at a point where maybe you're struggling, maybe you're having, financial hardship at that point, you're not going on a trip, you're not doing it starts to make you feel down because you're like, oh, all these other people are doing. I know even recently, like, we literally, my husband and I went on a really nice trip recently, and then it was the kids' spring break. They wanted to stay home this year. Our kids were like, we just want to stay home this year and just hang out with our friends. Okay, cool. Well, but then I'm watching all these other people go on trips, and I was like, all these other people are going on all these trips, And so it's easy to do. We're human, right? I try with my Facebook and Instagram and stuff. I don't post all the time, but when I do post, I try to be somewhat like there's times that I will post if I had a shitty day. You know what I mean? Because I want people to know that, like, I'm human.
Yeah.
And you're real.
Yeah. Everything is not this big facade of woo. I mean, there's moments like that, but those are fleeting. Yeah.
Yeah, that's like the big thing too when people are posting like vacation stuff, and it's like, oh, here's us happy on the beach. Well, okay, you don't show the part where somebody lost the plane tickets and you fought for 30 minutes.
Right. Correct. It's again,
and
absolutely. It's the
You had to
highlight
fight over the armrest in the plane and
Yep.
the whole way.
Absolutely. It's like growing up, getting ready for church on a Sunday morning, and everybody's yelling, and then you get to church and it's like, we're all just one big happy family, right? Yeah. So I think it's so great, everything that you guys are doing. Can you tell us some more about this really cool event that we haven't talked about yet called the Mocktail Bash? I'm really excited to hear more about that.
Yeah, so Saturday, May 10th.
So it's coming up
At the South Greenville Grange, Appleton address, but it is Greenville also. I don't know, right?
Sure. Right there. Yep.
Yeah. So we are having a really fun and empowering event open to anybody. This is our second annual event. And it is a night of connection, empowerment, and fun.
I love that.
Show up as yourself. And
Sure.
we guarantee, even you can come alone. Like, I think some people are like, I don't want to show up. But who am I going to be with? You'll get connected. We guarantee that.
That's
as well.
awesome.
You're going to have a wonderful time, or bring your friends and family, and all of that. Like it's a fundraiser, but yet at the same time, you can show up and be yourself. You can wear a purple cape if you want. And you can.
I love it. I love it.
Like Nick is so great
Uh-huh.
to wear the.
For the YouTube people, it's just been the elephant in the room the whole episode. They're like, why is that man in a cape?
A very cool mental health purple cape.
We've got the t-shirts.
T-shirts on if you're
Mocktail
watching
Bash.
on
That too.
YouTube.
I love that.
We have a.
Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say we have a contest for the like the dress code is wear whatever you would like.
Sure.
If you want to wear lime green though, that is the color for mental health awareness. And with May being Mental Health Month, it's perfect. We have a prize for the limiest outfit.
I love the limiest outfit. I
so
like that.
Feel free to get decked out.
Yeah.
Last year we had like
Dang.
opportunities for interaction and connection. We had
Sure.
a scavenger hunt, like the kind where you need to like go ask somebody like, hey, do you have a hotel key in your purse, or like, can I borrow this?
That's fun.
Because I'm competing.
Yeah.
We have vulnerable victories, which gives people an option to share some serious things, but also funny stories. Like tell about like a horrible first date you had, or
Sure.
tell like, and everything is to people's comfort level. We had some people who participated in everything. We had some people who just sat back and watched and soaked it in. And I feel like everybody walked away. It wasn't like just an event. It was like an experience.
Yeah. Which is awesome.
And the food and the drinks that we have, mocktails are a big deal. It's
Yeah.
like, in a way, it's not just mental health, but we also have the purple color
Sure.
for representing recovery. With substance use and kind of creating some awareness with that, these are non-alcoholic drinks, but that doesn't mean you can't have a blast. Actually,
Yeah.
coming to this, you're not going to need alcoholic drinks.
Right.
Have a great time as it is, and
And you actually remember the night then.
yeah, to
Right.
make good decisions.
Yep.
Impulsivity's down.
Yep.
All of that, but like a lot of fundraisers like that. I mean, we understand are like $200-300 for a lunch where you see a speaker, whereas
Sure.
like ours, we purposely keep it low because we also
Yeah.
want access to people that really need it that
Sure.
maybe don't have much money, and then we've even like people that couldn't. They contact our
Yeah.
office in Milwaukee. Hey, you want free tickets? Or we got you. We
That's
just want
awesome.
you to come
That's
connect.
awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yourself,
I love
Well,
that.
even like with our Wisconsin culture, we don't even realize that like every event has alcohol. It's like
It's
5-year-old's
ridiculous.
birthday party. You're going to, I don't know, to a retirement party. Anything. There's going to be alcohol there, and it's like, well, what about the people that don't drink? Like,
It honestly, and maybe I shouldn't say this because as a realtor, I try to be very, PC about most everything. But yeah, it drives me crazy a little bit. I have definitely cut back on my alcohol over the years, and I feel like I notice it so much. It's such a thing, and that's to each is their own. But yeah, like you're at a 1-year-old's birthday party. You really don't need to booze it up at every single thing. But you're absolutely right. It's such
We're
a
just blind to it.
Wisconsin. It is. It's just like the norm, And if it's not there, it's like, oh my gosh, what are we gonna do? How are we gonna have fun? You can actually have fun.
That was like our challenge. So like we we've known each other about 10 years, closer like the last 5 years, but we didn't know each other when we were like, we each had our own going out and having fun. So we've exchanged funny stories.
Yes.
But we're like, can we replicate that without alcohol?
Right.
That's what we want to give
Yeah.
the Fox Cities. Hence the Mocktail Bash was born. We're like,
Love
let's
that.
see if we can do an event without alcohol, but where people walk away being like, what was that?
That's so cool.
And we totally achieved that
I love
last
that.
year, and we're like, we got to do round 2.
Props to you guys. That's awesome.
And
Really.
if I can quote Steve-O from Jackass,
Yeah.
which I appreciate you saying shitty, because then hey, that opens up
Yeah,
some
exactly.
expressive language.
For
But
sure.
Steve-O said that alcoholism, being alcoholic, and all that, that's the one disease that actually you end up being a way better person when you're done and you get through it and you recover than you were when you even began.
That's
Prior
such
to
a good
having
point.
alcoholism, and I was like, oh my, how empowering, great is that? And sharing your story and
That's such a good point.
all of that, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Steve-O is not my own. I've realized it in my life. I'm also in recovery with that, and mocktails are so much better.
They really are.
better.
And one thing I will say though too is, again, props to you guys for having an event like that, because the more that this kind of stuff gets out, especially in Wisconsin, the better. I'm starting to notice a lot more restaurants, bars in the area have a really great little mocktail menu and are making it more like welcoming for those that aren't drinking. Because I know, like, as somebody that tries not to drink a lot of times, when I go places, it's like, oh, is this going to be awkward? You know, and there's that whole thing, right? So it's
Always
nice to have that and not always have to like talk about why or not, you know, and it's just like, let's just
Right.
move on with the day, you know?
Also, yeah, like
So-
let's normalize not asking people like, "Oh, you're not drinking. Why is that?"
Right.
That's just awkward.
I've learned so much.
awkward.
So much of that is people reflecting on that they're projecting their own, you know, they're nervous because it's like, wait, I'm now. Are you going to be judging me because I'm drinking and you're not drinking? And how do we handle this situation, right? But I thank you, Nick. I completely agree. Let's normalize not asking people and just let everybody have whatever they want in their glass,
Right.
Yep.
Right.
right?
Absolutely.
We can all get together and chat and have fun, and we don't all, you know. So
You
yeah,
guys are wonderful. Now, I just
Oh,
gotta say, it
thanks.
takes a step back here. Wow.
thank you.
Get it. You know?
I agree. Trust me, I agree. Though again, mental health, alcohol, all the things I've struggled with for so long, and I think you're so right that you can come out of it and help other people, you know, and just be a better person. And so, I don't know. I just always feel like kind of that whole to whom much is given, much is expected. And I don't feel like anything's really been given to me. I feel like I've worked really hard for everything I have, but I still really enjoy giving back. I like being, you know, in the community and actually being that realtor. I don't want to just be and I tell my team this too, we don't want to just be the realtor that like sells somebody a house. There's so much more that we can do and, you know, be involved in. So I really like doing it.
We were so honored that Kelly had sponsored last year without even, it was our first annual one, and we were learning as we go. It was like an internship or something like that.
Right.
We'll do
Yes.
this. And then to get that wonderful sponsorship like from a realtor really meant a lot.
Oh,
And Kelly is sponsoring again this
Yes.
year.
Oh,
Shout out to
sure.
Kelly
Yeah.
Davies
Thank
Realty.
you.
yay!
I did want to say that we are having an awesome speaker at the event.
Cool.
Um,
Yes.
she is a nurse who is in recovery herself.
Okay.
Kristen Waite-Labat.
Yep.
Okay.
And she actually started a peer support network for nurses who are in recovery because that is a very hard.
Stressful job.
Yeah.
Yes.
And there's so much stigma for asking for help if you're a
Right.
nurse. She has an interesting story. Back in 2005, she was actually arrested for diverting drugs from the hospital she worked at. So we hear those stories.
Sure.
And she saw her own like mug shot on TV
Yep.
and she was incarcerated, and that was in 2005. So she's been in recovery for 20 years and has found a way to give back with
That's
her
awesome.
peer support network for nurses. Our event is actually also the last day of Nurses Week.
Oh, yeah.
And
Very
so with
cool.
this, so we also would encourage
Yeah.
nurses to come, or anybody in
Please.
healthcare come and hear her amazing story.
I love that. That's awesome. Again, normalize things, you know, make it so that people can share their stories, break down barriers,
Yeah.
you know, get more people on the happy train,
Yeah,
right?
While having
Truly.
a great time. And then
Yeah.
there's really, really good, healthy food there
Yeah.
as well.
That's
The
awesome.
Pharmacy Restorative Eatery in
Wonderful.
Very
Green
cool.
Bay is our caterer for the night. Last year she did an amazing
I love
spread.
that.
So your $25 ticket includes your first mocktail, it includes your food, and it includes your ticket to this really fantastic, fun evening. Do you want to talk about our MC?
Yeah. Jason Ryan Lovett, he'd been on General Hospital way back. And
Yes.
Wonderful, wonderful man.
That's so cool.
Funny, and like I learned it in his presence, and then Kristen and everything.
Sure.
Like, oh wow, you're kind of starstruck. Like here's this author,
Yeah.
here's this actor. He lives in Chicago. Was gracious enough. She had been friends with him on Facebook. He was open about his struggles and just puts it out there. One of those.
Sure.
Lets those
Yep.
walls down, and actually ended up as our MC last year, sharing parts of his story. We were like, oh. Look at that! He felt comfortable enough.
That is
as,
so
like, MC,
cool.
you know, and I'm the MC, and very, very humble, incredibly
Yeah.
funny, and gifted man. And yeah, he will be there once again.
This is like such a great event. Okay, so where is the best place for people to get their tickets for this?
www.mocktailbash.com.
Oh, that is so easy. www.mocktailbash.com.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. And then just like all of the other fun things that you guys do and, you know, programming and things, where do you have a website that people can go to and kind of find out more about what's happening?
Yep. So if you, a great way to find out like our local events is to go to our Facebook page, which is Mental Health America of Wisconsin. We try to keep up to date with posting anything local we have going on. We also have the website is mhawisconsin.org for like the general like statewide page.
MHA Wisconsin, it's spelled out Wisconsin?
Yes.
mhawisconsin.org.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. Cool.
Did we want to touch on the Mocktail Bash, the
Proceeds. The proceeds.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I don't mean like it's not all about our plugs, but I feel it's
No,
it's
absolutely.
important, very
It is
impactful
important.
with the mental health
For
climate
sure. Exactly.
now.
Yeah.
So Mental Health America runs the Uplift Warm Line, which is a warm line is like a step below like a crisis hotline.
Sure.
So you can call and talk to a peer support specialist for free and talk about what you're going through. It's anonymous, it's confidential, and just honestly getting validation and support from somebody who just understands. They have lived experience if they're a peer support specialist. So our original intention was that all money was going to go toward that. Well, that's still the intention, but it's like even more important because we recently lost funding as of March 24th due to some cuts at the federal level where we lost a grant. And although our Wisconsin government has it earmarked to take over funding this warm line, that won't be, the budget won't be passed until like July. So we're hopeful that that will go through, but that probably won't start till fall. So in the meantime, this is a save the warm line. So we're pivoting from
Love that.
so they're pivoting from like just supplement it because even with the grant, it's expensive to run a warm line with enough staff.
Absolutely.
And 12 hours a day.
Yes.
But now this is like save the warm line. Like it's really important. Michael has some statistics about the impact that the warm line has had.
Sure.
Yeah, last year, 24,000 people in Wisconsin.
Holy.
This warm line.
24,000?
1,000 people benefited from this.
Wow.
And
That's
we're-
amazing.
And 4,000 just in March. Here.
Holy
like
cow.
we need. I can't emphasize. We need this. Like I was so shocked that happened, but yet like it's gonna work out. It's gonna serve a
Right.
greater good. But and then as far as counties that were impacted, they got at the numbers for that as well. Brown County and Calumet County and Outagamie County, and then Milwaukee County were some of the largest. But there was the most phone calls that came from those counties.
Sure.
We're saying this is very, very
Wow.
local and hits home with that. And there's how many? I can't recall I'm not a statistics guy, but how many peer specialists do they have that are employed that are now kind of on a hiatus till April?
Yeah, so they had to do furloughs because
Okay.
the funding stopped March 24th. Mental Health America did want to like respect the people that were counting on this, so they funded it not with no funding out of like kind of their
Sure.
like budget through yesterday. Now it's on hold until we can get more funding and support. So we're running like a statewide like save the warm line, and we really want this Mocktail Bash to kind of like do that as well. So like we already were planning on that, but we're like, okay, now like everybody, this impacts so many people. 7,500 people called the warm line just in the first quarter of this year.
Wow.
So it's a big need. And like Michael said, the statistics show like that this particular area, the Fox Cities, actually was one of the biggest users of the warm line. And the warm line is so important because it's like a lesser intervention where somebody can get that support that they need. It can it's like evidence-based that peer support can reduce like hospitalizations, emergency room visits, law enforcement visits, all things that do impact the community in different
Sure,
ways.
absolutely.
And can impact somebody's life. The
Yeah.
person on the receiving end of those interventions.
Right.
These guys don't call the cops. That's
Yeah.
so nice most of the time.
Yep.
That when you give somebody a number, you're like, yeah, if you get into crisis, yeah, they're like, whatever, I'm not going to call no cops. Or, I'm sorry, I'm not going to call this
Yep.
because I.
The cops will show up. Yep.
Cops are going to show up in another crisis. But
Yep.
And some people just like need like a sounding board. They need a safe space to be able
Sure.
to talk about something. And with the warm line, that's what they get. And they don't have to like advance to like, well, maybe I should call 988 because like I don't feel great. But I like they might not be feeling in crisis, but there's not like so this warm line was a really great like kind of in between
Yes.
step for people.
I love that.
And the peer support specialist can connect them to resources.
Sure.
So it's not like you're just talking and left high and dry. They have resources that they can connect people with locally as well.
Sure.
if I could also say, it's very cost effective. I mean, for peer specialists, they don't make much money, but then they're in it for the right reasons, which is great.
Yes.
They get that paycheck
Yes.
to be able to help people, but they get like $20 an hour. So like that, and Martina, in her ultimate wisdom, has that set up so very well.
Sure.
So it's like, hey, we're doing our part of like making this, so we're not wasting anything,
Right.
and we've got these people that are willing to do that, and unfortunately, it just is cut.
All right. Well, we're gonna get this back.
Yes, we are. Yeah, we're hopeful. So
Yes.
every
you.
like
Yeah,
ticket,
we gotta get this back.
yeah, everything.
Raffle baskets.
Yeah, there'll be
Yeah.
raffle baskets. Yeah, anything your drinks. You can buy T-shirts like us. All of that.
I don't know if we
will
could
go.
do capes. We could maybe.
I feel like the
could-
capes would be a
cool.
hit.
Oh wow.
Well,
Yeah.
we'll have to think about
Capes
it. Maybe
could be a real
pre-order. Michael actually sewed the back of it.
Yeah. That's the second attempt, third attempt actually.
love
Sorry,
it.
man.
I love it so much. What is the number for the war? I know it's right now it's sitting idle, right? But what was the number, or how do people find it?
It's on the MHA website.
It's on the
for
website?
sure.
Okay.
It is. And Uplift Wisconsin also has their own Facebook page as well. So
Okay.
it's called the Uplift Wisconsin Warm Line.
Uplift Wisconsin Warm Line. Okay.
Yes.
And again, right at this moment,
Unfortunately,
But
yes. It's
we're
on
gonna get it
hiatus,
back.
but it will be back.
we're gonna get it back.
I got it right here.
You got it?
534-202-5438. 534-202-5438.
Perfect. I love that. Okay. And again, it's on hiatus at the moment, but we're going to get this back because that's so important. Like you said, there's a lot of times where it's like, you're just kind of like, I want to talk to somebody about this. It's not necessarily like,
Yeah.
but it's like, I'm just not feeling great. Let's talk about it and get better.
Sounds like the director of the Warm Line will be present at the Mocktail Bash.
Oh, that's great.
too,
Cool.
which is,
To talk a little bit more
Yeah.
about it. I do want to say that we have a veteran warm line, and that one is still running. It's
Okay.
connected to our R&R house, which is a veteran
okay.
peer support house, peer run respite.
Okay.
Where any veteran, as long as you've served 1 day in uniform,
Okay.
you are eligible to go stay there. And if you just need like a break, and that's also another way to prevent hospitalization. That's located in Pewaukee, open to anybody though in the state of Wisconsin, and they continue to be able to run their warm line as well for veterans. So
Okay.
if a veteran is in need of support, that is still a great option.
That's awesome. It's so great, like finding out. And that's another thing that I love about doing this is, we get to talk to different great people like you guys. We get to learn all kinds of different things about the community, promote things. But like, I'm literally learning things that I
Yeah.
had no idea
That's
about.
what we are too.
Yeah.
That's
we're
awesome.
So good to say thank you.
Yeah, that's very, very cool. Well, I feel like there was one other thing that you really wanted to tell me, and now I can't remember what it was. Do you remember what where are we going to be, right? Where are we going to be in 5 years? What's the 5-year plan?
What you got in store, Lord? You've got
Right?
us so far.
Exactly. Tell us.
Thank you.
Exactly. Yes.
We would love to have a brick and mortar location here in the Fox Cities. Might have to start small with like an office space.
Sure.
But we'd love to expand that. Our like big
You're fine. It happens all the time.
Our big goal is to have a place that has a similar vibe to what we want this Mocktail Bash event to be, where people can come in, they can be themselves, they can hang out. If you have a diagnosis, cool. If you don't, cool. We want people to like just all be together and feel free to be themselves,
Sure.
have fun, and be in a supportive environment. And you could show up as you are. If you're sad, that's okay. You can get support. If you are feeling great, that's awesome. We can like embrace your energy, but we just want people to have a spot to come.
Sure.
And it can be like multi-purpose because like, there could be spots for groups. There could be spots for all sorts of more targeted efforts too, but also just to have like a space where we can just all, for everybody.
Connect.
Like, yes, for connection.
Yeah,
Connection.
not just clinical space that's open Monday to Friday when not much is going on. We want it like Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday night when people are really struggling.
Yeah.
To come in and connect, and holidays like Christmas, man.
Yeah.
All of those, like I got
Yes.
nowhere to go, no family.
Right.
I've burned all my bridges. What am I gonna do?
Yep.
Well, if we got South America, Fox Valley, or whatever it would be, yeah, that's that space.
That would be
come on in,
awesome.
man. We'll celebrate Christmas together. I don't like my family either. You know, I do. But,
I know what you mean.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
You have to
That
backtrack
connection.
after that.
Yeah.
Right. For those that don't,
Kicked out.
they're like, remember how you said you didn't like us?
I don't like them. I love them.
Exactly.
We always
That's what I
joke
meant to.
like you can go to like a bar or Walmart. Like that's like in those like late hours, those are your two choices.
So true.
Or a
Yeah.
coffee shop, maybe if they're, but like most
Maybe,
of the time,
them
right?
are
No, you're so
closing
right.
early, so
a
yeah.
bar or Walmart. And let me just say, at a bar or Walmart, you can probably be equally entertained.
Oh,
You're
man.
right.
Yeah.
Also, bring back 24-hour Walmart.
Yeah, you're right. Actually, that's an old comment.
Or let people know that it's
love
not
it.
24 hours before
Yeah.
they come in there at 3
Yes,
o'clock in the morning. trying to go to
exactly.
therapy. Yeah.
Yes. No, I love your vision, though. I think that's awesome, and it's definitely something that can be attained.
Yeah, I
That's
hope
awesome.
so. Yes.
You guys, you'll do it.
Thank you. We appreciate
Well,
that.
thank you guys so much. Thank you for being here. Thank you for telling us all sorts of great things and providing resources and just doing what you do. It's so important. We need more people like you guys.
Thank you.
It's been a journey and a pleasure. Like we love this. We live for this.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, like I said, we need more great people like you guys. So thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right. So should we tell everybody a little bit about what's happening this weekend?
Sure, hit the button.
All right. Besides Walmart, besides the bar. No, I'm just kidding.
I love it.
Here we go.
Let's see what's happening this weekend in the 920.
All right. Shall I start?
You can have the first one.
Okay. I'm going to summarize this because it's quite lengthy, but Black and White Gala. Ooh, at Poplar Hall. Poplar Hall is always a fun spot. Friday at 5:30. So this Friday, April 11th, 5:30. Tickets are $100. It says, get ready for a night of elegance, entertainment, and impact at the Black and White Gala, benefiting the Children's Cancer Family Foundation. This dazzling event promises a perfect blend of glamour and good vibes, all for a cause that truly matters, supporting families facing the challenges of childhood cancer. So there's going to be a live auction, entertainment, signature cocktails, hopefully mocktails too. I'm just going to throw that out there.
Yep.
Delicious dining, stories of impact. So it says be inspired by the resilience and strength of families that are supported by Children's Cancer Family Foundation. The dress code is black and white with your own twist. Embrace the style of James Bond, the timeless elegance of Audrey Hepburn, or showcase your own unique flair. So 5:30 is registration and complimentary themed cocktails and heavy hors d'oeuvres. 6:30 the program starts, and 8:30 Grand Union Band and dancing begins. So that sounds like fun. So I would assume, and I never assume because you know that gets us, but Children's Cancer Family Foundation. I'm guessing if you go to their website, you can get your tickets because that's happening this Friday evening at Poplar Hall.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Oh, okay. I got a short one. So Friday, 10 a.m. to 10:30 a.m.
Ooh,
It's a short,
just a quick
short
little
event.
dance party here.
Footloose Fridays at the Neenah Public Library.
All right.
It's a family dance party, a half hour of rhythm, rhyme, and movement for children of all ages and their grown-ups. There will be interactive songs with scarves and shaker eggs, followed by danceable music from hip-hop to Motown to swing. No talent necessary. Dancing
good.
is required. The program is free. No registration
That's
needed.
awesome. Neenah Public Library this Friday. I love the Neenah Public Library.
I love all
It's such a
public
great
libraries.
I do too. I absolutely do. But it's, that's a really.
Menasha's just got
Yeah.
renovated.
Yes, Menasha's is fantastic. And in Appleton. They're
yeah.
all
Oh, yeah.
We have
so
amazing
great.
libraries
I
in
know,
our
we
area.
really do. We really, really do. Okay, so that's this Friday, 10 a.m. Now, Nicholas, I'm going to have you read the next one too, because anytime I don't know how to pronounce a word, I make you do it.
I was sitting here going, I wonder what Kelly's going to say.
I have no idea.
Okay, so I'm going to go with Kokedama Workshop.
Okay.
Saturday, 3 p.m. Gibbons Farm. That's in Hortonville.
Forgive us if we're
recently
totally
sold.
killing that. Sorry.
Yeah, so Kokedama, a traditional Japanese form of bonsai, is a centuries-old art form of binding plants in balls of moss. Easy to care for and beautiful to behold, Kokedama are a welcomed art form for the home or workspace. Join us for a unique and hands-on experience at our Kokedama workshop. You'll select from a variety of lush plants and learn to create your very own botanical masterpiece. With guidance, you'll plant and shape your soil ball, wrap it in moss, and secure it with twine, resulting in a stunning and eco-friendly living
That's actually
art.
really, really cool. I want to do that.
Tickets are $60.
Very cool. Givens Farm this Saturday.
Is Mr. Miyagi or Ralph
Yes!
Because I remember him being like, bonsai!
Yeah, right? Exactly. And I'm sorry, but bonsai is one of the only types of things that I can keep alive. Besides my children, I've been able to do that. But in the plant world, okay? So I think that sounds really, really cool. So that's Saturday at 3 o'clock, Givens Farm. Okay, we're coming up on Easter. Egg. Let me make sure I, really emphasize on this. Extravaganza 2025. Van Zeeland Nursery. This is this Saturday from 9 until 2. It says, come one, come all to Van Zeeland Nursery. Spring Family Egg Extravaganza. I just really like saying that. This event will feature a new and improved indoor egg hunt. Well, I'm glad it's new and improved.
Well, I heard that they had a good turnout last year.
Right. Professional photos with the bunny, pot a plant station, multiple craft stations, face painting, lemonade stand, and more. So there's 2 sessions, 9 to 11 and 12 to 2. $20 per child, ages 1 and up. 1 and under, and adults are free. Wow. So if you're an adult or you're under the age of 1, you're free. Registration is required. So go on to the Van Zeeland Nursery and Landscape website and get registered.
Yeah, no
Very
tickets at the door.
cool. No tickets at the door. Got to sign up ahead of time.
Are the adults able to do egg hunt?
I believe so, yes, with the kiddos. I know, isn't that fun? And let me just say that we did the Callie Davies Homes team last year. We had a little egg extravaganza of our own. We're not doing it this year, but the Easter Bunny may have made an appearance
The Easter Bunny may have been sweating his buns off.
for several hours.
Those suits are hot.
The Easter Bunny had to take several carrot breaks throughout. It was a lot of fun, though. We had a good time. But yeah, check that out at Van Zeeland Nursery. Nick, what do you got next?
I have Festival of Cultures 2025.
That sounds cool.
Saturday, 11 a.m. to 4 p.m.
Okay.
UW Green Bee.
Green Bee? I love it.
Clip Kelly's laugh there. I need that. UW Green Bay. The Moth Center?
I know. I give you all the hard stuff.
Join us for the Festival of Cultures on Saturday, April 12th from 11 to 4. This vibrant celebration brings together a variety of cultures, ethnicities, and countries through engaging activities, performances, and delicious food. Enjoy dancing and singing from UW Green Bay students, Japanese drumming by Oshkosh Taiko, and performances from
Sorry, Nick.
Hale's Studio and DC Dance Academy. Plus, get some amazing food from Maldonado's food truck. This event is free and open to all. Don't miss out on this exciting opportunity. We can't wait to see you there.
That is really, actually, honestly, that's really cool. It sounds like there's a lot of entertainment, good food. So this Saturday, UWGB, 11 to 4.
And then you get
Festival
the last
of
one.
Cultures. All right, I get the very last one. We started out with a black and white event, a gala, and we're ending with a black and white event, Film Development Night. Black and white, Sunday, 3 o'clock. Photo op, 624 North Bateman Street in Appleton. Okay. So it says, join local experts in film photography and have a hands-on experience of developing your own film. All we will need when you sign up is the film type and speed, ISO, that you shot at. Event hosted by Photo Op board members Billy Hintz, Shar Brandis, and Brandy Grawl. It's at, again, Photo Op, which is located at 621 North Bateman Street in Appleton, this Sunday, April 14th at 3 o'clock. They said estimated end time around 7 o'clock. Anyone with black and white film rolls to develop and wanting to be involved in the process is welcome to come. Bring up to 2 rolls of film, 35 or 120. You'll be shown the process of developing, how to help with parts. At the end of the night, you'll get your film and digital scans of your photos. The cost is $20. So that sounds really cool. This class is open to all skill levels, whether you're just started or have experience but a bit rusty, or you're very experienced. All skill levels are welcome. It says Photo Ops supplies the equipment and the chemicals for each participant.
Very cool.
I love that because you know what? I mean, Nick, did you grow up in a time of, I did, obviously, of a time where like you would go, like you would take your rolls of film, right?
Yes.
To the Walgreens or the wherever, right? But nowadays, it
Yeah.
doesn't really happen much anymore.
I think I was about 10 the last time I went to get film developed.
Yeah.
Or went with mom. To
I
get
like
film
that
developed.
whole, the whole process of that, the art of it. Very
Yeah.
cool. All right, well, I feel like there's a lot of great stuff happening this weekend, as there usually is in the Fox Cities. And, we just try to highlight a selection of things. And again, Mary Beth, Michael, thank you guys so much for being here, and thank you for all that you're doing throughout the community. And we hope everybody has a fantastic weekend.
Thank you for listening to our podcast. To contact the Kelly Davies Homes team for all of your buying and selling needs, call 920-791-9047. Find us on Facebook at the Kelly Davies Homes team or go to kellydavieshomes.com.
Yay!
Oh, man.
Wasn't that